Yo, T Squad, what's up? This your girl, Legendary Miss T, and we are going to do this reaction video that the internet is talking about right now. It's about Young Thug interrogation that he did before he went to trial. He like telling him a little bit more, a lot of information, but from what I'm listening to, Flacco video, he's saying that by Young Thug criteria, the way he think, the way Young Thug running his mouth in this interrogation room, it seems like he is snitching. He bought a Birdman. He also, I guess he was just trying to throw them off or whatever. But you guys, when I tell you, when I tell you 2025, these guys has been ratting, they've been ratting on themselves. It is so crazy. You know, I know when I was younger, I just was brought up with different type of guys, different type of gangsters that move totally different and they kind of move in silence. And a lot of the new gangsters or whatever, they just really be running in it. But I'm not tripping. I'm just so glad to do a reaction video on it. Like I said, thank you guys for subscribing to my YouTube channel, Legendary Miss T. Thank you. And here is my reaction video, me reacting to this. Young Thug, like Young Thug come off as bisexual to me, so I don't really feel him. And then I don't like the way he was gone off on Lil Wayne when he was all on Baby Dick. I ain't like that. So he would forever be an enemy to me, especially I don't care if Lil Wayne make up with Young Thug or whatever. I don't like Young Thug. I never did and never will. But y'all enjoyed this video, okay? And press that like button and the notification bell. And if you want to support the channel, support it by cash apping us at Legendary Miss T, MSTEE. Okay.
Young Thug has found himself in drama that could be career ending, and he has nobody to blame but himself. He's learning two really important lessons simultaneously at the same time. One lesson that he's currently learning today: the streets is dumb and the rules of the streets are stupid. And the second lesson he's learning is exactly what damn near everybody in the history of Earth has learned, and that's witch hunts are disastrous. Witch hunts are not good for anyone because they're not sustainable. Witch hunts usually and almost certainly blows up in your face. You see, when there was a Salem witch hunt, you know why it didn't work? The same reason why the rules of the streets don't work. There's too many gray areas. When people, were being arrested and persecuted for being a witch, what was the criteria? How do you prove the person was a witch? Because they walked funny, because they talked funny. It was too gray area. People at some point were just making up things. And that usually blows up in your face because once there becomes no criteria to be a witch and the only criteria is an accusation, well, eventually everybody becomes a witch and everybody gets persecuted. Same reason, when we were out here sending communists to internment camps. There was no real criteria. There was no real way for us to dictate who the communists are. They just sent 120 Japanese people in 1942 to internment camps with no clear definition of if they were really communist or not. When it comes to the streets, there's no clear definition of what a snitch is. Some people say a snitch is if you ever gave the police any information whatsoever. Some people say if you gave information that led to an arrest. Some people say if you talk to the police at all. Some people say you could snitch on dead people to get off. Some people say you can't snitch on dead people. Some people say you could tell if it's a self-defense case. Some people say you can't tell if it's a self-defense case. It's too many gray areas. And what we're currently seeing is there's an incentive right now for a witch hunt. There's an incentive for YouTubers and other people to make videos, do as much research as possible, trying to find anyone with some type of gray area there so they could make money on their YouTube channel by calling people snitches. Same thing in the streets, right? There's an incentive for if you don't like somebody, you could use a gray area and get them, labeled a snitch and pretty much ruined their public reputation. In the likes of Young Thug, what Young Thug did was he don't like Gunna. So what he did, he labeled Gunna a snitch. He told a lot of important rappers like Lil Durk and Lil Baby, who could have been some really pivotal collaborators for Gunna when he got out of jail. Gunna's a rat. We don't like Gunna. And it was the good old boys club in the industry pointing at Gunna saying, he's a rat. We don't like him. Gunna didn't write a statement on someone. Gunna didn't give the police anything that was used in Young Thug's trial. But because Gunna pled guilty and Gunna did a routine plea deal that everybody does, Gunna was labeled a snitch by Young Thug. Young Thug criteria was, I don't care if it wasn't used against me. You pled guilty and said YSL is a gang. You saved yourself and you left us for dead. Well, in the case of Young Thug and Gunna, the criteria is if you tell the police anything, it's snitching. Young Thug has now found himself in a situation where he's dealing with his own snitching accusations. And I'll be real, when you hear what Young Thug says, if we're going by Young Thug's own criteria, then Thug is a rat.
Man who shot up tour buses belonging to rapper Lil Wayne pleaded guilty and accepted a 10-year prison sentence. He had until today to take a deal. Channel 2's Cobb County Bureau Chief Roscoe live outside the courthouse with why the DA's tough stance on gang cases may have persuaded the gunman to take the deal.
Man known on the streets as Pee Wee or Roscoe will spend 10 years in prison. The district attorney here in Cobb County believes the gang problem is getting out of control in Cobb and really the metro. We told you about a case last week in which his office asked the judge for a 350-year sentence in another gang case. So it's likely Jimmy Winfrey saw the writing on the wall.
Introducing Studio, your all-in-one go-to place for creators. From dreamers to doers.
I think it was best for the client to do this and avoid the massive risk if he would lose even on a single count in this case.
Manny Aurora believes his client, Jimmy Winfrey, could have beaten most of the 27 charges in the indictment. But the prosecutorial mood against gangs and gang members in Cobb County is tough.
Anytime you say the word gang and there's an African-American individual, prejudices.
Lil Wayne tour bus getting shot up in Atlanta while he's beefing with Young Thug and Birdman at the time. Bro, everybody and their mama knew that Young Thug and Birdman was involved. Detectives knew they were involved, which is why they spoke to Young Thug about this. And the interrogation footage, audio, I should say. The interrogation audio from Young Thug being questioned about this actually resurfaced. And it makes Young Thug look crazy. So the police was actively investigating Birdman as well, because they put out documents and correspondence alleging they have reasons to believe that, that Birdman and Young Thug solicited, the Pee Wee Roscoe to do this, right? They even mentioned how Roscoe was on the phone with Birdman like minutes after the shooting. So the police have always been pointing fingers at Birdman and Young Thug, but mostly Birdman, I should say. Well, during the interrogation of Young Thug, which by the way was voluntary, Young Thug voluntarily showed up to go through this interrogation, right? He didn't have to do it. He voluntarily did this. But during the interrogation, the police began to ask Young Thug about Birdman's and Lil Wayne's beef, which if they're asking you about their beef, at the same time, they are putting out correspondence. They believe Birdman is involved. You should stay quiet. You should stay silent by Young Thug's definition of what a rat is. Well, Young Thug proceeded to break down the public things we knew in such of, Young Thug and Wayne is having money issues. But then Young Thug draw the police attention to lyrics by Lil Wayne, where Lil Wayne is alleging he's at war, and if Birdman comes for him, he's gonna go out like a Scarface or Tony Montana. Young Thug told the police, hey, did y'all know Lil Wayne made a song on this mixtape a few months ago before the shooting that if Cash Money and Birdman come for him, he's going to go out like Tony Montana. And he's aware that Birdman has an army. Why would Young Thug say this to the police if Birdman is a suspect in his tour bus shooting?
So come to find out, him and Birdman got problems because he owed him. Because on the mixtape that he dropped before the album, he said on one of the songs, he was like, I don't want no problems, I just want my money. Birdman is an army, I'm a one-man army. And if that nigga coming for me, I'm going out like Tony. He said those exact words.
Who is Tony?
Tony Montana. Scarface. I know Scarface. See,
he was like, Birdman is an army.
Okay.
He said Cash Money is an army, I'm a one-man army. And if them niggas coming for me, I'm going out like Tony.
Gotcha. Scarface, the last scene in Scarface. Yeah.
But he also said, I don't want no problems. He said, I don't want no problems, I just want my money. So everybody caught on like, oh, you owe him. And then a couple months, about 2 or 3 months after he dropped the mixtape, you heard TMZ and all like, he's suing Birdman. Because Birdman owed him for albums. And then that was when everybody was like, oh.
If you give the police information and their reaction is, oh my God, we missed that. I can't believe we missed that. Tony Montana, oh yeah. Scarface, oh yeah. You shouldn't be telling them that information. That right there is the only proof you need that you shouldn't be telling them. If their reaction is that, you just messed up badly. Young Thug shouldn't have brought Birdman up, not one bit. And Young Thug knew Birdman was a suspect in his Lil Wayne tour bus shooting. It's public information. In the Cobb County paperwork, they accused Young Thug and Birdman, all right? They alleged that Young Thug and Birdman were involved in orchestrating the shooting of Lil Wayne's tour bus. Young Thug and Birdman. Young Thug does an interrogation essentially putting it all on Birdman, letting them folks know Lil Wayne did say Birdman got an army, and if they come for him, he's gonna go out like Scarface. Why are you telling the police this? It's crazy. Now, if you also pay attention, the driver of Lil Wayne tour bus actually sued Birdman. He sued Birdman for this shooting. That's how well-known Birdman's involvement in this was. So bringing Birdman up to the police at all is kind of crazy. But it didn't stop there. Young Thug also told the police that Pee Wee Roscoe sold Lil Wayne drugs.
This motherfucker Wayne from New Orleans. I'm from Atlanta. This nigga was in Atlanta and I was in New Orleans. I said, what the fuck? It's so weird. This nigga now shot at this nigga to us. Honestly, I don't know who the fuck it is. They said Roscoe, but I don't wanna block out y'all case by saying Roscoe didn't do that. And knowing Roscoe, man, fuck drug. That fool. I'm like, you shot at somebody, bro? But I don't fuck because every day nigga grow fuck off. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
There's a lot more instances in that 2-hour interrogation footage, but just off of these 2 clips, people are on social media calling Young Thug a rat. They going crazy, bruh. Young Thug public perception or reputation has been permanently ruined, and I don't care what y'all say, bruh. Young Thug can't pop it no more as if he's Rat K. That era is over with, bruh. He can't pop it as if he's Rat K, bruh. He can't pop it as if he's like the symbol for what a real street ninja is. That's not the case. Young Thug standard, Lil Durk standard, and everybody else's standard has always been, when you in the police presence, you're quiet. Thug said a little too much. Now, from my perspective, the common sense, the gainfully employed perspective, I wouldn't consider that snitching. But from Young Thug's criteria for what snitching is, by his own criteria, he's a rat. Now, Young Thug and his team, they decided to go on social media to respond back to this. I don't know why, because all it did was make him look a little bit more crazy and guilty. But you could tell Young Thug and his team is absolutely panicking. They even started to throw out like conspiracy theories as if like there's like a collusion to make Young Thug look like a rat. Young Thug reasoning for why he's not a rat is apparently because they didn't play his interrogation video in court. He says they didn't play it because he helped his brother. #ratware. You know who interrogation video they didn't play in court? You know who interrogation video they didn't use against Young Thug? You know who Young Thug is still calling a rat? You guessed it, Gunna.
So as the defense team over there for Yak Gotti, you don't see an issue with Gunna saying that this is a game?
I'm not happy that he said it, but you know what? I can explain that to the jury. And his lawyer knows I can explain that to the jury.
Mm.
And we did over and over again. Max and I, everybody, we all explained it to the jury.
Yeah.
And you know what? The jury understood. So what Gunna did didn't hurt us at all. Didn't hurt us at all.
Wow. That's a heavy statement.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm saying it because it's true.
Right.
He didn't hurt us.
And you played in between the whistles, so you know. You know?
I was there.
Yeah, you were there.
Look, that entire trial, that 2-year trial, nothing Gunna said ever came up before the jury. So how can his plea have hurt me?
Wow.
Have hurt Yak?
Yeah.
It didn't.
What Gunna said never even made it to the jury. It never got in front of a jury never heard it, but somehow Young Thug came home from jail and all he's done is call Gunna a rat, diss Gunna on Twitter, make Gunna out to be public enemy number one, as if Gunna went to that court, took the stand against him. So this criteria cannot exist differently for different people. The criteria must be the same. If the criteria is not snitching, if it wasn't used against you, then Gunna ain't snitch. If the criteria is if you talk to them folks and tell them information and use a rat, then it looks like, Thug, you might be a rat by your own criteria. Now, other people who Young Thug has also pissed off since he's been home, they've spoken out against Young Thug since the situation has happened. You have YSL Mondo. He made a video, and he has called Young Thug a rat officially.
A nigga beat him up, a RICO. Nigga come home, still